Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to Woodbine Racing Live. Jeff's back, everybody. I told them all you were just taking a nice, easy night last night, and I hope that's what you did.
I did have a relatively enjoyable night. You know, it's so odd, because obviously I watch the races, but because you and I have been doing this job for so long, it is very odd to be at home watching races from Woodbine.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I really should be there, but I'm here. And so I had my program out, and I looked at them, but I didn't really handicap the races like you and I normally would if we were working. But some of those results last night, I was like, don't think I would have had that one.
No, like Black Goddess, we would never have got the pick four last night.
Never had Cavala.
Royal Presence we did like, though.
Yep.
The Sean Smullen horse for
7-1.
Chiefswood. Got a good price on that one.
Yeah, that one was pretty nifty. That Voodoo Doll ran a bit of an interesting race that first time started.
Okay, Julia's horse. Did you happen to watch the replay?
Yeah,
wow.
The start.
Imagine if that horse gets a good break. And I was texting actually back and forth down to the home team down in Kentucky, and I said, "You're not going to get 14-1 next time. We're all going to be on to that one." But that's a pretty neat horse. Yes. Cheering on Bricketto in the opener on the program. Yeah, so we had 8 races on yesterday's program, and don't go home and don't turn your TV off after the 8th race tonight, because we have 10. 10. As I said to everybody, bring your sleeping bags for tonight's program, and you might as well crash here, because we're going to be back again tomorrow with 12 races and 12 on Sunday as well. I thought the track yesterday played pretty fair. You know, one of the things that I noticed yesterday was that we had quite a few horses that were in stalking positions that were able to get wins.
I think the rail was good. I don't think, I mean, you could win on the outside too if need be. But like, for example, Royal Presence never saw the rail yesterday and was able to pull off the victory. But certainly the inside path, if you said to me, if I was a jockey, which is never going to happen, and you were a trainer, and you said, "Jeff, don't leave the fence," I would not argue with you.
No, exactly.
You know, it's been so good all season long. But for the most part, from a like a speed type of style and stuff like that, so you come from pretty much everywhere. There were some horses that they were a little bit too keen, I thought, early on in the races.
Yeah, we did have a few, and I thought, there's no way they're going to keep on going.
No. Oh, I kept waiting for Black Goddess to stop.
Me too, and that didn't happen. So, that was a monstrous win from that horse, and I believe that's the only horse that Carlton T-Pay trained. So it's nice to, get a win before the end of the season, because as Robert pointed out, we are 1 month away from the end of the meet. So we are quickly starting to snowball to the closing day. Now, we canceled the Sunday program, but here's the good news, and hopefully you've kept your programs from Sunday, just like Jeff and I did. 7 races from the canceled Sunday card are back on tonight's card. And
for the most part, the fields are intact. There are some new horses that have been entered in. Some elected not to go back in. It's a bit, to me, a bit of a disadvantage for the horses that have already entered, because essentially the competition gets a free peek at those races, right? So some tracks, what they'll do is they'll just keep the cards intact. We do not do that. We redraw them. And we'll talk about some of the newcomers and some of the impact that might have as well. And the problem is, too, like, I always think about this, how hard is it now when you have a horse amped up for a Sunday card, now you have to wait 4 days after to race on a Thursday program.
And how many of those horses received LASIX, let's say?
Yeah, well, the good news is, so some of them in the early card, yes, but at least later, like maybe the back half of the card would have been saved.
Exactly. So here's the thing. Tonight, as we go through the program, I will make sure to let you know what races this race, like for example, the first race tonight is race number 6 from the Sunday program. So hopefully if you have your Sunday card beside you and you had that already handicapped, all you got to do is change your numbers around.
Right, and the good news is, because we did cancel, we never like to cancel, but the quality of this card is a lot stronger than a typical Friday card would be.
And it's caffeine night tonight, okay? Jeff's going to have a Red Bull around the 6th race.
My gosh,
and then
I've never tried that. I don't think I could. I don't think that would go well with Jeff.
Okay. Somebody get in the studio and bring me a Red Bull, and let's see if Jeff grows some wings. Alrighty, let's get started with the program for the night tonight, because we have a busy night. 10 races in store for you this evening. We'll start things off in race number 1. Now, the first race on the card is a maiden special weight going 2 turns, 1 1/16. Now, this is the 6th race from the Sunday canceled card. So we see a lot of the same faces back, just with different post positions. We do have a scratch of the 1, Masterful Moment. That horse is a vet scratch, will not go, gets us down to a field of 6. So did you change your selections here, Jeff, or did you stick with Court?
Now, I should point out, this was originally a turf race too.
Yes, that's the only turf race on the program.
Right, and then they moved it to the main track, and obviously when it went back as an extra, it came back as a main track race. So I originally did have the 3 for turf, but because it came off the turf. I went to the 2, that being Super Caliber, because I just want to see what this horse can do on the synthetic. This is a $500,000 purchase. They obviously paid a lot of money for this one. Now you get Lasix and you get the blinkers going on. You and I love the changes that court's going to have here today. First time gelding, blinkers going on. Interestingly enough, third different rider now for this horse, which is a little bit unusual for a horse that's got this much promise. You know who's got the really interesting pedigree, and here is the 7, this being Told. So I was looking up Told. This mare is a half to Modern Games.
Really? Wow.
Who made $2.1 million, and a half to a stakes winner named Maui, who made $634,000 as well. I thought Proud Panther ran very well last time out. But whenever we have a horse of the distinction of Super, we have to catch up with Roberts.
Ah, yes. And Robert went over to visit Super Caliber.
What was Super looks like maybe was either sniffing out some food or just finished lunch or dinner or something like that.
I would say there was a meal right before this picture was taken. Hey, I think we showed these pictures last Sunday, didn't we?
Reuse,
yes.
reduce, and recycle.
Good for you. Alrighty, so that is the first race on the program here tonight. Again, a maiden special weight going 1 mile and a 16th. The race was originally for turf. It was originally the 6th race on Sunday, and it's back here today as race number 1 on the card. Don't get confused. Race number 2 is a new race into the mix. This is not a race that was on the Sunday card. It's a 25 non-2. And you're going to get a fairly big group in here. There are now 9 horses who will compete as the 8th horse is a Stewart Scratch from this race. Lots of horses taking drops in prices, coming down to the $25,000 price tag. Some horses, like for example, the 10 Got Me Good. This horse was actually entered in a different race last Sunday, opted not to go into that. I think it was a 7/8 race, and to go here instead, but they've waited the 30 days to bring this one back for the same price tag. I went to Silver Raleigh for Barb Minchell simply because there was no way that you were going to get to motion granted back at the end of October when that horse won. He goes right to the point, he stays there, and when he's on the front end, he gets super brave.
Yeah, and I think you're on to kind of the safe play in the race, because I think of all the horses, you've got the most consistent of horses in this field, which is a little bit difficult to find here for $25,000. I'm going to take a shot with the 6, this being Cuban Thunder. So Cuban Thunder, you might look at that and say, oh, the drop, it's a little bit scary. Well, don't forget, they bought this horse in a digital sale for just $4,500.
Yes, I saw that.
So they ran for 40 first time outs and lost to Philip Banks. And we all think that's kind of a key race. So now we obviously get against much easier competition. Do we say that Flores is becoming the barn's go-to rider right now? You know, obviously they use Rafi quite a bit, but I think Flores has kind of filled the shoes of Saheen right now at this point. So I'm going to put that one on top. I've gone 6, 3, and 2. You've got the 5 as your third pick, that being Highly Potent. It did race well last time. It comes to the same races.
Phil Hall's been doing a lot of claiming. And, you know, this horse is one that he has tonight, but there's another one later on that I like too that I think he might be able to move up on as well. We're going to talk about that one. But I want to just point out too, yesterday's Errol Ford, he's okay.
Yeah,
so
that
that's
looks
good news.
A little bit nasty, unfortunately.
Had a few riders come off right at the gate this year.
And I'm glad you brought that up. All the best to our friend Saheen down in New York as well.
Absolutely.
He suffered an injury yesterday.
Not what we wanted to hear about Saheen's new journey down in New York. Alrighty, our next topic comes up in race number 4, where we kick off the pick 4. Now, I'm glad Jeff wasn't here yesterday because we would have lost our money on the pick 4. There was no way we would have had Black Goddess. But here in this race, we do have a rider change with the 2, that being Lawn Rose Gamble, make the rider Cheyenne Kerr. You know what else is interesting? The return of Luis Contreras. Yeah. He's going to ride, I think, just 1 on tonight's program. And we have a new well, I can't say new bug, but the rider of the 3. Oh no, so I had this lead.
Yeah,
now
so
it's
it's
Jones.
Now Slade Jones. That did change with the program.
Alrighty, so that one changed a little bit. Okay, no big deal.
Now I think why Louise is here is because the Horseshoe Indy meet ended.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we got Louise for the rest of the meets.
Yeah, he'll probably stick around. He knows the track really well, and he knows a lot of the people here.
Wants to spend time with his family. It's when holidays coming up, so I wouldn't be surprised.
So what do? Do we key Little Red Domey? I think we talked about this race. This was originally the 2nd race on Sunday.
Yeah,
we talked about this one.
We did, and there are some new additions in here that, like Colonel Mustard, I don't mind in here.
Yeah,
that's one that you were just speaking of. Phil Hall. Drum roll, please, is a new entrant. I don't mind that one. Listen, you and I don't want to spill our secrets in here, but we're going to key Little Red Domey, and this is a gutsy key. But we had to find somebody along the way because you and I disagree a lot on the program today. And he he's a gutsy key. Like, he's not really a safe play, but we would have had to spend like $5,000.
And we don't like to do that on Fridays.
So right now we're kind of under a hard ride right now. And you might remember I showed you this replay on Sunday when we thought we'd have the races. And, you know, Big Baby Henry kind of gets this horse rejuvenated a little bit in here because it looks like our horse isn't really going to get anything. And all of a sudden, just watch kind of the late kicking here. It's going to come here with Little Red Dawn. I mean, I kind of like the fact, too, Elisa, now that Hernandez has ridden this horse once. You know, now he's got that under his hat, and he kind of knows. Because watch the late surging here. Now he kind of really kicks him yet again.
But remember, too, when he was first starting out his career, Jeff, that there was the very first Lifetime start. I was walking to the bathroom and thought, that horse isn't going to get a sniff.
And
here he comes flying. That might be his preferred way of racing.
Yep, could be. Could be. And I think a lot of it with him is you got to play the mind game with him a little bit.
Oh, yes.
Because I just think he likes to do that with everybody in here. Now, it is a consensus play in here. I don't think it's really a horse that is worthy of being a consensus play. But, you know, a lot of us, you know, I think what happens too is a lot of us, we don't want to change our picks on the weekend because we'll change these, our original picks will win.
That's right. So. Yeah, that is the way it tends to go. So race number 4 is how we're going to kick off the pick 4 for you tonight. Again, a $10,000 claimer, nominals of 3 life, going 7/8 of a mile, the original second race from last Sunday. Next topic comes up in race number 6. 6th race tonight is the original 9th race from Sunday. And this actually is a race that that last week I was really looking forward to, you know, because we had talked about Babot, right, being offered up here tonight for $32,000. One of your favorite horses, like my horse crush, of course, is Jagger's Got a Gun, and yours is Poseidon Steel. So he'll be here in this race tonight. He's offered up for the $32,000 price tag. I mean, this is a pretty good group of 8 to go 6.5 furlongs.
It is. This is a very nice 32, and for the most part, I think this field stayed intact, right? It's just the number, the post positions changed a little bit, right? So we really didn't have to do a whole lot of adjusting in there. You know, Poseidon Steel, the one thing about my horse crush is I find he's usually good for 1 win a year, and I missed it, you know? I missed it earlier on this season, was able to win at odds of 10-1, but I really think that Babot was in the right spot here today. I just think for 32, you know, he's not the biggest of horses by any means, and you know, I just think he's going to get to the front and hopefully just keep on going here in this spot. I'm very confident it's 7-5, 5-7 in this spot.
Me too.
I think Pine Knoll. I don't know what has led to this tussle between Theranos and Drexler. They've been claiming off one another all season long.
It's fun to watch, though.
It is. It is, and we'll see if maybe Ridley goes back in for Pine Knoll. But we remember this picture from last week.
Oh yes, now I do. It was the old picking of the feet.
Yes,
putting your best foot forward, Babot, here in race number 6 on the program. 6th race will kick off the second pick 5 because, as a reminder, we have 10 tonight, not the usual 7 or 8. Here's a look at the selections for race number 6. Let's go to the 7th race. The 7th race is an optional 40 going 7/8. Now, this was originally the 8th race from the Sunday program. I don't quite remember. I think it's all the same horses coming back in here as well. But, you know, I got to stick with my original top 4. I use Pain Spirit up on top because of the reference to Philip Banks. And again, we talked about that earlier. He's a good reference because a lot of us think he could be a future star. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you for sure. And, you know, even Isaac Leo doesn't look out of spot in here. I realize for 40, you know, you think, okay, he's in for 40, he can't possibly win. But you know what? I don't think this is a salty 40. For example, I'm going towards Joe West. He just ran for 25. And you know, I don't know what it is with Jamie Begg, but he's got this knack for kind of finding these horses from Finger Lakes that do well here. Like look at Galleyhead, and that horse has gone on to do some really good things. And here with Joe West, you know, he ran great first time outs. You know, he got a good figure, he got an 85 buyer. That's good enough to make him competitive against these. He ran against a horse that we know, Elisa, is an absolute need-to-lead type of horse. And when he gets these, very difficult to beat, and that's Sunday's best. So here he is, and he's going to start to rally in here. And you know, for his initial start, he did open up a lot of people's eyes in here. And I think the fear is with Jamie is if I run the horse for a quarter, I'm probably gone. So the horse is probably going to get claimed. So just watch how this horse kind of finishes up here in this spot. It's a good rally. Again, we're never going to get to the winner in here. And that is obviously Sunday as well. But I'll tell you, Joe West is trying as hard as he can. And he just can't quite get there. And now, the 7/8, this is a bit of a quirky distance because you know, he's running Finger Lakes the majority of his career. They don't go 7/8 there. So what's to say maybe this might be his preferred distance, you know? Yeah, I can think of a few Finger Lakes horses this season that have come here and done all right. You know, Big Baby Henry is one of them.
That's another good one.
From the Phil Hall barn, and he's done very well since coming to Toronto. So selections are up for race number 7. 7th race will kick off the late pick 4 on tonight's card. Again, it was originally race number 8 on the Sunday card. Alrighty, let's flip over to race number 9. 9th race was originally the 3rd. From Sunday, and that's a 25 non-winners of 3. I'm just telling people
No, I like it.
Because let's say they have their Sunday program beside them and all their work is done.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know about you, but I was really ecstatic when you sent me the text that said 7 of the races on Friday are races that were from Sunday. I was like, woohoo, I don't have to handicap 7 races. But yeah, 9th race is originally the 3rd from Sunday. It's a 25 non-3, 6.5 furlongs. And, you know, we talked about this one on the pregame show last Sunday. Money Honey for Josie, Catch the Drift, who is solid for $25,000. You know, they seem to be the 2 horses in here. Firecracker Fiona could show up as well, but they seem to be the 3 major horses.
And Catch the Drift, what I like about the last race was we were never going to beat the winner, but I thought that she fought to get second, which I kind of like in here. So the winner was Party On, and Party On was dropped down in class on this day for Conditioner Kevin Attard and just kept on going and was able to pull off the victory. Stealing Time is the 2, and Catch the Drift is the 3, and Stealing Time had a perfect trip in here. And to give up second, I think that kind of gives up my handicapping movement here to Catch the Drift that was able to get up late in here. So just the fact that the horse fought, I just like that, Elisa. You know, because sometimes I find when the horses know they can't win, they just sort of pack up their bags and stuff. At least she fought a little bit, and she's pretty consistent too. If there's a bit of a knock against her, she doesn't maybe win as much as she would like. So I'm going to put this one on top. But More Money Honey is obviously a very dangerous horse with a drop down in class here today. Well, we've got to give that one some serious consideration as well. And in fact, Josie's got a very interesting 1-2 punch. I don't know what happened to Geese Flatter last time out. Like, I realized it was tougher, but like she lost by 17 lengths.
Yeah. You know what else is interesting? You're talking about these Josie horses. Pietro's on Keys Flatter. Raffy's on Mo Money Honey. And last night, Pietro had 2 winners on the program. So he is now 1 win away from being tied with Raffy. Right? So now I think comes the dogfight between these 2, because you're going to watch them tooth and nail, right? It's one night it's going to be Pietro, one night it's going to be Raffy, right? And they are. I would like to just watch. Like, it's going to be fun to watch right until the end, and you know they're going to get calls in every race possible. So it's going to make. I always like that, just a little rivalry for the end.
I remember last year, Sahin, he started riding pretty much every race to try and win the title last year.
Sometimes people don't understand just how important it is.
Of course.
You know, and everybody, there's a lot of us that are very competitive, obviously, in this game, and we all want to be number 1. So, you know, I think it'll be a nice fight to watch to the finish. The 10th race, speaking of finish, is the last race on the program, and it's Maidens for 10. Guess what? This was the original 11th race from Sunday's card, and I was really happy about that, because there's nothing I love more than handicapping Maidens for 10, because you get these massive fields, and you got to figure out who you think can get themselves into the winner's circle. And Out for a Rip last week was scratched on the Sunday card, but I feel like Catherine scratched a couple of her horses.
Both. When it started to get really bad, the snow, she scratched a couple of them.
Same with
Sid did the same thing,
Exactly.
But Sid didn't scratch this one, which was interesting.
No, he only scratched a couple of them, not all of them. So Out for a Rip is here to play. That's an interesting horse. That's the Catherine Day Phillips horse. Sirius Green, I think, could you know, have something to say with Raffy getting aboard for the very first time. I'm calling that the Raffy factor. And then Sid's horse, Lady on the Nile, as you mentioned, with Pietro doing the riding. You know, they teamed up for a nice win on the card last night. The one with Zipfire.
That was effective rally at odds of 2-1. Yeah, you know, the post positions have changed a little bit in here. I went with Dancing Mare Marie originally, but I was like, oh, I don't like the draw. She draws a lot better here today. The thing that with Dancing Mare Marie that's a little bit frustrating, but she was a lot better last time out. I don't know if you find this with cheap horses too sometimes. They run a little spotty. Like, they'll go and then stop, go and then stop. You know, like they're almost kind of unsure of themselves. I just thought it was a bit more of a thorough approach with the horse last time out. So I'm going to put that one on top. But like, if I'm playing like a late pick 3 or something like that. This is a spread route race for me.
Well, and I brought it up a couple of times last night too throughout the evenings. You and I have really started to figure out that this time of year with these types of horses, you just have to find horses that are rounding into form or showing some interest.
Something.
Right?
Yeah.
Showing something. And yesterday, I think a couple of the replays that I showed were just non-confident horses, let's say, that were ridden with a lot of motivation, right? They were asked all the way around and they were like, oh, I know what to do now, and we got good efforts from them and they gave us repeat good efforts on last night's card as well. So the 10th is how we're going to wrap things up.
Who'd you go with there? Oh, for Rip?
I did, and that was my original one on Sunday. 114 grand, almost 115,000 in the jackpot high five. Alrighty, what do we got? Plays of the day. Now, I have to confess, 2 of my plays of the day are from last Sunday. Same for you? All right.
Same. What did I add in? Joe West was a new one, and Super Caliber. Yeah, they were the two new ones because I had Little Red Dommy and I had Babo as well. But right now, the 2 is on the board odds of 3-1. We'll have more on that when we get to the clock report. But 2-9-7-5 are the numbers for me, and you're going to go to Court in race 1.
So Court was an original for me, right? From Sunday. Little Red Dommy was an original for me. But I added Valley Victory. I've been watching. This is interesting. I don't know where Todd Kettleson went.
Yeah, Mike Glazer.
And he might have went back home, but his horses have transferred over to Michael Glazer. And War Bomber, I feel like I had War Bomber last week. He's just such a classy dude, and we both agree he needed that race last
What did you do with Bachelor Pad?
I knew you were going to ask me that. He's in for $15,000. Yeah, I think I put him up on top. He's just so
Did you?
he's
Yeah,
so
I got him
cool.
somewhere. I don't think I have him
I
on
don't
top.
know if I'm necessarily on top, but he is in the mix for sure. I mean, 15, oof, man, he's such a cool horse. Doug's got Court at 8-5. War Bomber is a top selection from Ron Gear King. Boy, we got two chalk-eating weasels tonight. And Stealing Time at 5-1 for our Woodbine TV producer. That horse goes first start off of the Claim. Might be interesting to see what he's able to achieve here tonight in the new outfit. We have 1 horse for you on the Clocker Report, and that is Super Caliber from Mark Cassidy. We're going to see that horse in the first race tonight. Now, here's the good reference. This horse outworked Voodoo Doll. And if you were watching yesterday, you know the Voodoo Doll won in a head bob over Bracchetto in the opener on the program. So that's a great reference now. And knowing that, I would strongly suggest you take a close look at this horse at odds of 4-1.
Yeah, that's because I remember we teed it up saying keep an eye on Voodoo Doll. This horse runs well. Now it's vice versa.
Yeah, so hold on. So Ernie did a repeat too. This was on his list for Sunday as well.
Yes.
See, we all kind of thought the same way. For today's program. Alrighty, we are going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will talk about tomorrow's big stakes event. It's the Kennedy Road.
Love horse racing? HPIBet.com is Canada's leader in online horse betting. Access thousands of live races from hundreds of tracks worldwide instantly. Enjoy the most advanced betting tools like AI Smart Picks and exclusive cashback rewards you won't get anywhere else. Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with HPIBet.com.
A perfect day for horse racing.
This is the biggest race in the world. Pinch me, I think I'm dreaming.
And they're at Tbred, 2 of the great racehorses in the world. Giant Killer, by name and by nature. A race for the ages.
Ignite World Racing presents Bahrain's Showpiece Horse Race. Catch it on Sportsnet 1.
And Nobles the outside. Patches O'Houlihan attacked left and right. Patches O'Houlihan headed off by Nobles on the outside, and they are sticking on a bit. Patches is not done with, is fighting right back. Nobles and Patches O'Houlihan stride to stride, but Nobles still a neck in front. Patches O'Houlihan trying to come back. Nobles back to his best, wins the Kennedy Road Stakes from Patches O'Houlihan by 3 parts of a length. 3.5 to War Bomber.
Well, he's back to party again in this year's edition of the Kennedy Road. No balls now. It's kind of like I was just saying to Jeff off camera. It's kind of sad to watch that replay now, knowing where our good buddy is up in horsey heaven. But no balls. I mean, come on. Who? Do we just cut him the check?
Well, my question is, where the heck's Simcoe?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You know, I thought this was the target all the way along, and obviously something happened because he might still be champion sprinter, but they've got a good little backup playing here in Western World. It was obviously blossomed since being gelded, but I just would love to know where Simcoe is. And you look at Lucky's score. What a performance that was! Remember how badly the horse broke and then came from last and was able to pull off the victory in there. Yep. But from a speed point of view, no balls in Western World. They're going to kind of throw it down, I would think, in this race.
So that Lucky Score reference is something I'm going to show you tomorrow because Twin City and Souped Up compete on the undercard tomorrow, and I really like Twin City tomorrow.
I picked Souped Up.
Did you? Well, it's my exactor. Yeah, it's my exactor. The only thing is I always like to play Twin City when it gets cool outside.
Yep, and he's good right now.
Yeah, and they are going to, they are calling for some significant rain tomorrow as well. Not snow, that's the good news, just rain for tomorrow and maybe all day long. Alrighty, that is what we have to look forward to tomorrow.
So I went no balls over Western World, and you went with?
Well, I can't remember. I know I went no balls.
We're going to show it on the screen right
Oh, are we? Okay,
yeah,
there you go. I went
similar.
no balls. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's just like write him the check. So, and Rafi will be looking to get yet another stakes victory. I mean, he is, he could win a couple of different things this year.
Well,
definitely, he's got the most stakes. No one's catching him there.
He's 20 now.
Yeah, no one's catching him there. But the race is to the wire for leading jock.
Yeah. But, when it comes to Sovereign Award voting for champion riders, stake wins mean a lot, and
They
he's
sure
won
do.
a pile of them.
Yep,
So.
they sure do. Alrighty, 10 races in store for you tonight. After race number 7, you're going to want to tune in because Jeff is going to be experiencing his very first Red Bull, and we're looking forward to it. 25 minutes on the clock before the opener.